Welcome back. While South Africans prepare for their festive season feast, large numbers of our neighbours in Zimbabwe are going hungry. The economic crisis in that country is forcing families to take drastic measures. And please be warned, you may find some of these visuals disturbing.
12-year-old Beatrice foraging for food for dinner, and she's delighted with her find: rats. Just enough to feed a family of 6. Shocking scenes from a country once dubbed Africa's breadbasket. During government-backed land grabs, thousands of farmers were chased from the country, and the fertile fields they worked simply stopped producing food. Then the cities were hit. More than 700,000 people were left homeless during Operation Muranbatsvina, or Drive Out Rubbish. It left people like Winnie Gondo homeless and helpless. She says she lives like an animal with no relief in sight. The man leading the starving country, Robert Mugabe, he's been president since 1980 and is likely to stay on for some time more as he seeks to postpone presidential elections scheduled for 2008.
US President George W. Bush is considering sending more troops to Iraq. He says it's one of many options, but has not disclosed just what the others are. Bush has asked his newly appointed Defense Secretary, Robert Gates, to investigate the deployment of more troops. That's despite the rising US military body count in the country. Almost 3,000 American troops have been killed since the 2003 invasion.
We have an obligation to ensure our military is capable of sustaining this war over the long haul and performing the many tasks that we ask of them. I'm inclined to believe that we need to increase in the permanent size of both the United States Army and the United States Marines. I've asked Secretary Gates to determine how such an increase could take place and report back to me as quickly as possible.
British Prime Minister Tony Blair has urged Middle East countries to form an alliance against Iran. He was talking at the end of a tour of the region where he warned leaders against extremist forces.
Iran's President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the third member of the so-called Axis of Evil. Britain's Tony Blair wants other Middle East countries to unite against Iran, accusing the nation of seeking to undermine peace and stability in the region.
Our response should be to expose what they're doing, build the alliances to prevent it, and pin them back across the whole of this region.
Blair is looking to moderate Middle East countries for support.
We must therefore mobilise our alliance of moderation in this region and outside of it to defeat the extremists. Nothing matters more, nothing should stand in the way of it, nothing should be more galvanising of our collective will.
The UK Prime Minister has just ended his tour of the region.
A 14-year-old Cape Town girl is hoping for a miracle. She has a condition that has caused her abdomen to swell up, and despite visiting 3 doctors, she still has no idea what's wrong with her.
14-year-old Nanopa Shasha hasn't been to school since January. That's when her abdomen started inexplicably expanding.
Someone please help me, because I really don't know what else to do. And also at school, the other children laugh at me saying I'm pregnant.
And it's not just the ridicule that is painful. Nanopa says she often experiences excruciating pain, especially when she urinates. And getting to sleep at night is no easy task. The young girl's mother is at her wit's end.
I feel her pain inside me. I wish I could find a way so my daughter can be cured, but I don't know how that can happen.
Nanopa Shasha's mother says the last time her daughter saw a doctor was in April here at Critiscare Hospital when she was operated on. The hospital confirms she does have a folder here, but couldn't give us any further details. It was the third doctor the mother and daughter had seen. Noma Africa Shasha says the first 2 failed to diagnose her daughter. Staff at Critiscare asked them to return for further testing. But this family doesn't even have enough money to get to the hospital. Scheherazade Safla, E! News, Cape Town.
Two men have been seriously injured after their truck plunged over 15 metres into a river in KwaZulu-Natal. Emergency services raced to free the trapped duo, with the waters of the Afafa River hampering their efforts. The 18-wheeler truck had crashed through barriers and plummeted into the river. One critically injured man was airlifted to hospital. His colleague was pulled free hours later. E-News has expressed its disappointment in the Human Rights Commission's ruling that it invaded the privacy of Correctional Services Minister Nondi Balfour. Minister Balfour accused E-News of invading his privacy in October this year.
The minister's complaint follows burglaries at his Cape Town residence and that of Education Minister Naledi Pandor. Even though the ministerial compound where they stay is under SAPS protection, the criminals made a clean getaway. They've still not been arrested. The following day, an E-News team attempted to test police security. They were able to drive through the main gate unchecked and even entered Minister Balfour's government residence without being stopped. The minister was not home at the time. Balfour accused us of invasion of privacy and referred the matter to the Human Rights Commission. Despite their ruling, E-News stands by its report as being in the public interest and will review the Commission's judgment once it is made available.
After the break, it's over to Gershon for your sports news, and the Buccaneers come unstuck. They've lost their fourth PSL match in 10, going down 2-1 to Ajax Cape Town.
The ball's in the net and